Yeah, roll from higher up or with more rotation. No excuses.
We're not getting out that way, at least. Things had gotten worse in Raccoon in the time we had been on the highway. Many buildings were belching thick black smoke. Others had been nearly engulfed in flames. We exited the highway into an area a half mile from downtown. We turned onto a side street. Horace rolled the car to a stop along the curb. His hands were clenched to the wheel, and he was staring straight ahead.
How can you be so calm?
I'm just calm on the outside. On the inside, I'm just as scared as you.
What do we do now?
You know the military we saw at the roadblock?
I do?
They didn't look like they were going to come to our aid anytime soon. We'll have to find another way out. I'm sure all the other roads are blocked.
But what other way out is there?
I don't know yet. Come on, think with me. I tried not to pressure him too much. All this had taken an awful toll on him. The car was silent for the next few minutes. My mind wasn't on escaping, though. All I could think about when he talked about the creature's origins. Where do they come from, Horace?
Can I trust you, Angel?
Yeah, you can.
I work for the largest pharmaceutical company in the world. Umbrella Incorporated is the largest pharmaceutical manufacturer, supplier, and researcher. But that's just what they use as an excuse to research the legal areas of genetic engineering. The biggest areas of research is in viruses.
Like finding medicines to treat them?
No. I helped to build a network for a research facility here in Raccoon. It was very secure. I saw things that I was never meant to. They've spent years and billions of dollars developing a new strain of virus.
I never heard of either. Where is there a facility in Raccoon?
It's a secret facility under a section of downtown. So I was repairing a terminal and its last file transfer was frozen. And I tried to purge the system, but not before I saved the file. The file was not encrypted and was a report on progress. It was so strange, Andrew. It talked about time from infection to reanimation.
What does that mean?
The things that are attacking people. I think they're infected with the virus that was being created by my employer. The file I found said the virus could change a person, and in all tests made them violent berserkers.
It's as likely as anything right now. He sighed and was about to answer. But a loud bang from my right startled him. I turned to see several people spill out and scatter. They were terrified by something. A creature appeared out of the doorway, mouth agape. It would have followed after them, but it spotted me and lunged toward my window. Horace hadn't shut the car off and peeled out when the thing hit the window. He was panicking and kept accelerating. Horace, stop the car! He didn't hear me. I tried to grab the wheel, but he took a sharp turn and I was thrown against my door. We completely rounded the corner and struck an ambulance that was parked, with its back doors closed.
Can I get a picture for the store website?
He's taken more of a beating than our last battle.
Hey, we're about 6 turns in apiece.
Yeah?
That's 3-card draw plus 6 cards drawn, which is 9. You have 5 cards in your hand and 6 in play. That's 11. Too many. Put them back.
My mistake. Let's continue our battle.
The impact knocked the wind out of me, and when I looked over towards Horace, I could see he'd been knocked out. I reached over and felt for his pulse. He's alive. Horace? Horace! He stopped, but I could still hear groaning. I sat straight up, and through the shattered windshield could hear that same groaning. It was coming from outside the car. I removed my seatbelt and ran my door open. I can't see where the sound is coming from. I pull out my pistol and listen again. I see the ambulance in front of the wrecked car. The ambulance is in the middle of the street. There are 2- and 3-story buildings lining the sides of the road. The afternoon sun is partially blocked out by the smoke coming from one of the burning buildings on the same block. I heard the moan one more time and zeroed in on it. It's coming from a man lying in the doorway of a nearby building. I ran over to him. Before I got close enough to call out, the man sat up, and I was able to see that he's a paramedic. In his hands is a shotgun. He primes it. Don't shoot! I put away my gun. He lowers his. Are you all right?
No.
He tried to stand up, but couldn't. What happened?
We weren't able to respond to a call from this building right away, and
We didn't find anyone alive.
I had to help him to his feet and back to the ambulance. Horace was awake when we got back, except for a bump on his head and a few cuts. He was all right. I had seen the man's name on his badge. His name is Ken. Horace braced Ken as I moved the ambulance up to get at the back doors. I got in and opened the doors.
Ken, did anyone else survive?
I really don't think so. But in that building is a huge cache of guns and ammunition.
I shot a glance at Horace and he did the same at me.
Horace, I'm going to try to get into that building to get at the weapons myself. By myself.
His eyes are wide.
You can't go alone.
I'll be fine. Ken, where is the cache in the building?
It's all in the basement.
I got up to get out of the back of the ambulance, but he stopped me.
You shouldn't go alone.
I'll take it slow and be careful.
I got out and shut the door before they could protest anymore. There it is. A building filled with more of those things. I quietly opened one of the double doors and looked inside. The front office of the buildings was in bad shape. Papers were strewn everywhere, furniture knocked over, and several bodies on the floor too. I slipped in as quietly as I could. I froze when I got to the middle of the room. I changed my course to not walk close to the bodies. They could just be playing dead. There was an elevator at the end of the room and a set of stairs. I paused to consider which to use. The elevator could be faster, but it could drop me into a nest of them. I'd be more in control in the stairwell, but it might also be hard to climb back out if I had to. I poked my head into the stairwell. I couldn't hear anything. The stairwell was lit with a kind of amber light. I looked back to make sure none of the bodies had decided to stop playing possum. There hadn't been any change. It didn't make me feel any better. I decided to use the stairs. A sign next to the door reminds me to use the stairs in case of an emergency. If this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. The door slammed behind me, and the sudden noise surprised me a little. There wasn't the slightest sound in the stairwell. 2 floors down, something broke the silence. At the bottom of the stairs is a door. There's a thumping coming from behind it. It's slow and steady. The door had a window, and I looked inside. The room was full of what looks like gun racks and lockers. There was a pull string light in the middle of the room. The light was on. I didn't see anybody inside. I tried the knob, but it didn't budge. I glanced down to see a key ring on the floor. The key had to be on it. I picked it up, and when I leaned down to pick up the key ring, the thumping was definitely coming from the bottom half of the door.